G'day. My name is Shockadelic. Yes, it is. I am a gnome, born in the Great Southern Gnomeland, where we speak Gnomish, which by some strange coincidence, looks and sounds just like modern English. Many gnomes are concerned about the future of the Great Southern Gnomeland, and the greater gnome world, of which it is a small but delightful part, and I wish to discuss this with you today. The Great Southern Gnomeland, which for brevity's sake, I may simply call Gnomeland, was once the land of the giants. The giants lived here for 40,000 years before the arrival of the gnomes. They still constitute around 2% of the population. Many died in the early years of gnome settlement, primarily due to diseases they had no immunity to. There was little bloodshed, unlike the gnome invasions of Fairyland, Elfland and Troll World. Giants may look fierce, but are, usually gentle creatures, unless provoked. Gnomes are often castigated over their past invasions of other worlds, but spent much of history fighting other gnomes. The last great gnome conflict, Gnome World War II, caused by particularly obnoxious gnomes in sexy uniforms, was so bad, gnomes decided they would never fight again, and a period of peace and prosperity began. Around the same time, some gnomes, who didn't seem to like being gnomes at all, were possessed by evil spirits, who cast a spell, making them speak pleasant but shallow words, proffering a merger of all the creature worlds, to be more efficient and humanitarian. The evil spirits claim to love all creatures, but they're actually corrosive, and believe in nothing. They use the guilt over past gnome invasions to open the gates of the gnome world to all other creatures. The other creature worlds remain much the same, despite past periods of gnome political control. Fairies lived with fairies, elves lived with elves, and trolls lived with trolls. A few gnomes remained from the colonial legacy. Fairies, elves and trolls had never lived together before, nor had most even met a gnome. Yet the pleasant word spell made everyone ignore this. So fairies, elves and trolls started getting rainbow rides across to the gnome world, including our gnome land, first in small numbers, but then millions. Gnomes who questioned this, were told to throw themselves off a cliff, and were compared to the obnoxious gnomes with the sexy uniforms, who had caused so much trouble before. One southern gnome with red hair spoke up, and got thrown in prison on false charges. But the time has come to stop listening to the evil spirit-possessed gnomes, and protect the future of Gnomeland, and the greater gnome world. We must stop allowing any more permanent rainbow rides from the other worlds, except for post-colonial gnomes stranded there. Many fairies, elves and trolls would like to return to their worlds, but are unemployed, or work as cleaners, waiters and call center operators, so don't have enough gold to buy a rainbow ride. We should stop funding other world aid, and use that gold to help these homesick but poor creatures return home, and help poor stranded post-colonial gnomes come here. Some fairies, elves and trolls will still live amongst us, and need not fear. They can still eat fairy food, wear elf clothes, and worship troll gods. Gnomes value personal freedom highly, and will respect your privacy, as long as you do no harm. As the stress of the recent uni-world experiment fades from memory, a new equilibrium will emerge in Gnome Land, and everyone, gnome, giant, fairy, elf, and troll, will be happier and healthier. Can you join me in this quest? Let's work and play together, laugh and cry together, but most importantly of all, sing and dance together. We will survive.